Sometimes it's good to have some quality time with your seam ripper. Though usually there's a bunch of swearing involved. Hi, and welcome to Quilt Meets World, where we have adventures in piecing and joy. I'm Russ. Come on into my sewing room. So what's been going on? I finally got the video for my bathroom renovations completion update completed. Yeah, that sounds a little bit weird, but we'll go with it. It took me a while just around to get to it. The electricity has been done for 2 weeks now, I think. But I just hadn't had time to get in there to do the recording. So I managed to, over the past couple of days, get the recording done, and I threw it up there on YouTube's. Everybody seems to be loving it. I need to get some knickknacks up there just to figure out what I want to do with that. I think it's a couple decades too late to put those seashell soaps on the back of the toilet. Yeah, I think I have one of those crochet air freshener covers that mom gave me, but again, probably not the right color. And yeah, I don't have one of those. Yesterday, I got a quilt top done. Starting in the morning, I only had a bunch of pseudo flying geese units pieced together. I spent time and got those pressed out into alternating directions so that everything would nest properly. And then I started getting everything pieced together. And when it came to about 5 o'clock, when Stephanie Stitches went live for her project box video and so along, I wanted to initially sew along with her with that, but I felt like I was so close that I was able to potentially get it finished in time. And I just decided to press on with that. So I started putting everything together. I had them into the big units, and then I started sewing all the units together. And when I got that first big seam done, I made a mistake. I had to pull out my friend, the seam ripper. Some people call him Jack. I get it. I don't think I want to call this one Jack, but he's my friend. I ripped the seam out. What I did is I put two like units together instead of having the like units go opposite quadrants. So yeah, I could have left with it, but I didn't. I'll give you a quick sneak peek at the top. The pattern is called Wind Drifter from Robin Pickens. I had seen a video tutorial of it on Jordan Fabrics channel a couple months back, and I knew that I wanted to do something with it because the pattern was gorgeous. Fast forward a couple weeks later, and Maureen McCormick's Flower Power fabric was released, and I thought that would be perfect with it. I went with a non-white or non-black background just because I wanted the little bit of adventure. So this citrine color from Bella Solids is what I chose for the background. I have a couple other projects going on before this in the show and tell line, so it'll be a couple months before I get it quilted up and bound and ready for show and tell at my local quilt shop for Saturday Sampler. And finally today, I've been working on a presentation. Saturday, May 6th, Stephen Bland of The Idiot Quilter is hosting the Idiot Retreat. I think that's what it's called. I hope it's what it's called. And he asked me, along with a couple other content creators, if we would do like little presentations during the retreat. I had agreed before I knew the craziness that was going to be going on over the last month. I had anticipated everything being perfectly calm for the last couple of weeks so that I could have time to work on it, but that didn't happen. Either way, I have been thinking about the presentation the entire time in my head, trying to figure out what I wanted to say, how I wanted to say it. So actually putting it down today, it went very smoothly. I hope I have enough content to fill up the time that he asks. But If I don't, that just means people will be able to focus more on sewing. I know it's not too short, but there's that little window that I wanted to aim for, and I think I've got it in there. If you're going to be at the retreat, I look forward to sharing the presentation with you. If you're not, I don't quite know how you might be able to get it because I don't think I want to give the presentation again just for just a plain camera. Yeah, so sorry. At first, I didn't know what I wanted to have for goals this week. It's going to be a very busy week. But as I started to try to justify my lack of goals, I realized that my lack of goals were really goals, or the reasons for lack of goals were really goals. So, my first goal is going to be finishing the script for the retreat presentation. I've got most of it done. There's a couple tweaks that I want to do just to clean up some of the wording, and I've even enlisted my sister for a small section of it because there are certain things that I just don't like the way to talk about. So I'm like, hey, can you help? You did a speech class recently, so it's kind of fresh in your mind. So she said that she would help me with that little piece of it. Second, since I'm going to be doing retreating at the retreat, I need a project. And I just decided what project that I want to do. There is no better project than what I procrastinated doing yesterday. So I'm going to work on getting everything ready, whether it be sometime during the week or whether it be the morning of the retreat, to get everything cut so I can work on that project for the retreat. It seems like it's going to be a fun project to work on for the day. And since I know there's going to be a couple of presentations, maybe I will have a good portion of it done. I saw how far Stephanie got in her stuff on yesterday. Yesterday was Saturday. So I think that at least getting maybe even a bunch of the bigger blocks done might be as far as I get, but I will have something worked on for that. And then my final goal is to have fun with the retreat. I have done a couple shop retreats, which were just basically sit and zoes, but just a larger group of people. They were a lot of fun, but there was no like real, I guess, retreat that has all the fun and games in it that I've seen in some of the videos, like at the So Yeah stuff. This is also my first virtual retreat, so I really have no idea what to expect. I will have to figure it out. Some of it is, am I going to be able to switch devices in the times that Riley wants to go for a walk? Because, I still have her and I can't make her, sit and do absolutely nothing for the entire day. So yeah, there's questions that I have. Maybe I'll just create a Russ is on hold screen and just throw that up when I am stepping away to take care of the puppy, or maybe grab a bite to eat, or probably when I'm back there doing some pressing because nobody wants to see my milkshake while I'm pressing. It arrived on Friday, y'all, and I'm so happy. Uh, I got the Tula Pink Star Cluster kit. It took me a minute to remember it. And what can I tell you besides the fabric is gorgeous? There is a lot of fabric in here, so that really explains the price of this. I mean, I know that they're not going to sit and try to cheap you out of fabric, but I think it's well worth the price based on the amount of fabric that's in here. This has got to weigh a ton. uh, I'm loving the fabrics just sitting in here, but let me tell you, I pulled out one of the pieces of fabric and was in shock with the beauty of it. Tula is an incredible artist, and the pictures online of her fabric line do not give it justice as to just the pure beauty that the fabric is. I'm very excited to do this. I did open up the booklet and start reading the instructions and felt overwhelmed for a minute. It does say that it's for a confident beginner, so that's well within my working range. but there's a lot of pages. It feels intimidating. But Stephanie made a comment in her video yesterday that the best way to handle it is to just take it step by step, page by page, ignore everything else that's on there. Even if you have to just, limit your cutting down to the steps that you're working on so you're not feeling overwhelmed. That's a lot of what Saturday Sampler does. That's a lot of what a block of the month does, is it tells everything, or it ships everything down to a single step or a single couple steps so you're not overwhelmed. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I haven't quite figured out when I'm going to start working on this because I want to make sure I get a couple other projects that are in my have to do list done. And then I want to get a couple of the other stuff that, smaller projects, maybe just to keep my motivation up. This really feels like that should be something that I need to do when I'm working on like a couple days off in a row, just to get some cutting done, get some sewing done. That's what it feels like. So we'll see when I can get it started. But until then, it's just definitely worth drooling over the fabrics. So that's about it for today. Thanks for watching. Please consider liking this video if you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing to my channel if you aren't already. It doesn't cost anything, but it lets the algorithm know that you like my stuff, and it helps push it out to other people who might be interested in it. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and until next time, keep stitching.